Science says matter is visible, body is visible. And you go to the doctor, they say, no, 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 you have to eat lot of carbohydrate, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which is at the subtler level. And then go little deeper, it is a molecular level. Oh, that is how the science works. Material, purely physical level, you see my hand. Oh, you have so many rashes. So take these pills, take these. So that is at the subtler level. And again at the molecular level, that is at the causal level. So you believe it, you don't see it. So if Eastern wisdom says there should be a 360-degree understanding, there is a physical level, there is a subtle level, and there is a causal level. Okay, I have to think of it. I have to think. But behind all the three levels, there is an essence. And that essence is consciousness. That essence is consciousness. This is what we are. We have so many false assumptions. We have so many reservations in the intellect caused by the mind due to the ignorance, and that is why we are suffering. That is why I said, I said 360-degree understanding, so physical, it is subtler level, then it is causal level, and what is behind that causal level? It is the essence, it is the consciousness. We are understanding the basics of the entire journey. Even J. Krishnamurti, the great master, who only talks of the consciousness, awareness, choiceless awareness, he went through the entire training. And then he rejected that, oh, don't go there. Understand this. So that's what we are learning. We need a 360-degree understanding. But when you are understand this in a 360-degree way, you find out what is required from the world outside. So we have the three goals of life. We already have three goals of life. And then the intellect finds out, oh, there is a fourth goal also. There is a desire fulfillment and there is a self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is to finding the real self. That is what, I gave an example of a doctor. That is what happens, you go to the doctor and they say, for Terry's challenges that she has been facing, physical level, yes, we have understood. Then the subtler, the neurophysiological level. No, but what about the neurophysiological level? Go little deeper, the causal level. Only difference, in the Eastern wisdom, we say consciousness is the ultimate reality. Matter is not there. Oh, you go to the causal level of the matter, it is energy. But how that energy works, there must be some intelligence, and that intelligence is consciousness. So the basics, desires. So this self-discovery is the desire of all the desires. And then that is why I repeat it again so that you remember that there is a problem of the mind and the intellect that prevents the self-realization. What is the problem? The doubt regarding the validity of the teachings. I understand. No. Science proves that matter is energy. Have you seen that energy? Can you see that energy? No, but I believe it. So our masters are great scientists, they have found it. Why don't you believe it? You start with a belief pending inquiry. So doubt regarding the validity of the teachings, that causes lot of challenges and prevents you to reach to that. Doubt regarding the object to be realized. Uh, that object is the real self. We say pure consciousness. No, I'm conscious of you. No, I'm talking about consciousness, the subjective reality. When you are conscious of me, it is objective reality. So that is why it demands a consistent listening and learning. Then, because I want to know the subject, and suddenly what happens there is a lot of distractions in the mind, and those distractions causes lot of challenges, and it causes the wailing. So the four basic problems. So once we have all those understanding, then I told you that there are fundamentally 9 steps. Many people they do it 12 steps or 15 steps. I basically the first step is the Mangala Charan. We have been doing it for the last almost 2 or 3 sessions. Then we structure the inquiry. First setting the context, and then remember all this so that your mind will be very clear in approaching the journey of the self-discovery. So I set the context, and then we structure the inquiry. And once we set the structure the inquiry, then comes that I have to raise my cognitive ability. How to raise that cognitive ability? When I move from the lower to the higher consciousness. How I move from the lower to the higher consciousness? By raising my awareness, my perception. And then comes the fourth step is very important. I have to live these principles in my daily life, here and now. So when you live these principles in your personal, professional, social, you start purifying the mind. Real test comes whether you have been listening to me, not listening to me, listening to these principles, these masters. Real test comes. Are you living into these principles? So once you start living in these principles, your mind is getting purified. As it is getting purified, you have a perception that there seems to be one existence, which is of the nature of the consciousness. I should love it. So then there is an emotional freedom. So that is the next step. And then we come to the real seeker. Real seeker now understands what it means by listening and learning, what it means by contemplation and reflection, and what it means by the different stages of meditation. And you pass through these different stages of meditation to awaken yourself. So you see that now we are, after 360-degree understanding, we have a clue. Oh, this is the way I have to go. So then we have to setting the inquiry, structuring the inquiry, preparing the mind, purification through action, and then love for the existence, integrating the knowledge, and ultimately passing through the different stages of meditation. Oh, I have to do a lot of practice? No. By understanding, it will your mind will enter into that state of consciousness, which we say meditation. So Mangala Charan was the first step. Mangala Charan, my conduct and behavior guided by the consciousness, Mangal, auspiciousness. My conduct, activity, thought, speech, and action is guided by that auspiciousness, guided by that consciousness, guided by that existence which is beyond the physical, subtle cosmos, beyond the physical matter, the subtle aspects of the matter means elements and atoms and proton and then causal level, you can say proton and neutron, and beyond that there is an energy, and beyond that energy there is an essence. That is what we are saying. So we set the context of the inquiry. Oh, this is what I have to realize. But I have to realize myself. So then there is another aspect of Mangalacharan. I salute, I do the Namaste. Namah means I get rid of this I thought created by the body, mind, intellect complex. Now I'm adding body, mind, and intellect complex. It is the intellect which says, here I am the body and the mind. Namaste, not me. Then what is it is? Only you. What is that you? It is the consciousness. What is this matter? Nothing. No matter. It is not a matter. It is not carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. It is only the energy. Quantum physics. You believe it. You haven't seen it. And when our masters say that we are doing the same thing, we are doing the same kind of an inquiry. No, I don't believe it. See that? So the objective is to set the right context by purifying one's mind. So your mind starts getting purified. You set the context. You're not carried away by the physical perception. Common sense is required. So Mangalacharan helps us to purify one's mind, it uplifts my mood before starting something else. You wake up in the morning and you have a mood swing and upset with something outside because you did not strike the harmony of the three goals in the world outside. So Mangalacharan is required. Or you can say in American language, to create positive energy. To create positive energy. To reduce obstacle and the negativity. To show respect and gratitude to what is contributing to my existence. So all these as different ways of Mangalacharan helps us to. So where does the purity originate? Purity arises from within, not outside, not from the external. It springs from the sincerity of intention and detachment from the selfishness. I have to get rid of this selfishness. Selfishness means I thought. I thought creates an idea that this is the real I. It hides the pure consciousness. And that is why I have to invoke the Mangalacharan. So you can also say it reduces your ego, selfishness, the practice of, it helps us to do the practice of surrender. Surrender means that I am dropping this I thought. I am dropping that I am not only this physical perception. Knowledge is something at the subtler level. That is the meaning of surrender. And we think otherwise. Why we think otherwise? We want to keep our ego maintained. We want to maintain our ego. We don't want to leave. Why? Because otherwise we will feel hollowness and empty. We are already hollow. That's why we are frustrated. That is why we are frustrated. We are already hollow. Do you see that? That is such a grand thought process. Our masters inspire us. So because the moment I drop this and create this idea, I cultivate humility and reverence. So that humility and reverence helps me to proceed, to continue, to evolve. So that idea has been taken up by the religions in the form of a prayer and the worship. Same. That is the way we should understand. Don't take the external form. Instill it. It helps my mind to instill gratitude and the contentment. That is what is very important in the journey. The Mangalacharan is it invokes grace and the guidance. I told you it sets the context. Now think of it that from the 360 degree I have clarity our mind transitions to the Mangalacharan, and we have understood the Mangalacharan. So now, what happens? What is the next transition from the Mangalacharan? You already know. It is setting the inquiry. Mangalacharan is there. I have done, say for example, I have done Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be happiness, may there be peace for all. I have done it, contemplation. I'm in a contemplation reflection mood, and I realize that peace is my essential nature, peace is your essential nature, peace is the essential nature of all the beings in the entire existence. What do you think? How your intellect proceeds, moves further? It says, what is this peace? Can the peace be the subject of my inquiry? You see that you are setting the context. Think. It's a purely such a logical, clear way. After doing Namaskar, what is the next step? What is the next step? So the Mangalacharan, how the Mangalacharan transitions to setting the inquiry. Because if I don't do the Mangalacharan, it is very challenging to me to set the inquiry. Then they are the non-seekers. They will ask, where is the real self? I did not set the sinful goal. I did not have the 360-degree understanding. You see, the step-by-step process. Every master has written, passed on this wisdom in a different way. Same thing. I did the Namaste. Means what? Now I am becoming aware that I am not the body-mind complex. Then who am I? I am setting the inquiry. I am the subject matter. I am the subject of the research. I am the subject of the self-discovery. The subject is to find the real self. Think. This is the way our masters have passed on this wisdom. Very systematic. Everything is so clear. So then what happens, but problem is that I have a headache. I have a false perception. My mind is constantly is intellectually paralyzed. It does not think the way it should think. But my goal is to find the real self. So I have to set this mind first. So I'm setting the inquiry. In scientific research, what we say in scientific research, that you should be unbiased, impartial in observing the facts. My mind should be qualified as a seeker. It means I have to become a seeker. You see how you evolve. So it means, if the mind is not qualified, then it becomes difficult to find the real self. And what is the end result? What is the end result? End of suffering and awakening to permanent peace and happiness. So I have set the inquiry. So you need not to even study any principle. If you are a very higher level of a seeker, you will pass through the same process. So after Mangalacharan, we transition into setting the inquiry. Now I set the inquiry, the protocol, research protocol. I call it 2S, 2R. Seeker, subject matter. 2S, 2R. Relationship and the result. That is what is the meaning of setting the inquiry. You read any research paper in the science, you will find the same 4 aspects. Any research, whether it is from physics or chemistry or physiology or mind. We identify the research question and the problem. isn't it, in the research? We conduct a literary review. After I have formulated the research question in a modern research, and then I go back to the literature. What is written? What knowledge is available until now? How other same thing. We have to study these texts. Now, if you want to find your real self, you need not to go to the study physics and chemistry. So that is how the research protocol is designed. You identify your research question, and then you conduct a literary review, means that you study and contemplate what is written, what we have found until date. Then we develop a research design. The modern scientific, that is what we are doing. Then we collect and analyze data. What I collect and analyze data, I did the meditation today. I have those experiences. Oh, I do the namaste with a sense of gratitude, and I succeeded in dropping the false assumption about that person. I was blaming and complaining. Now there is no blame and complaint. Where? In my head. Are you getting it? It is so penetrating and absorbing. Oh, so that is what. So I'm collecting and analyzing data. In that process, I'm changing my behavior and attitude. And then what you do, you write and present your finding. What finding you present? That I am the real self. I am the consciousness. That is the meaning of awakening. So now compare it. Identify your research question or a problem. So you are, what is your subject of research? Who am I? No, but I already know who am I. No, you drop it. That is your ego part. Ego is not you. Body-mind complex is not you. That is how we have to design the research. Conduct a research review. You have to study. I have to study. I have to understand these principles so that I can relate myself to the real self. So I have to develop a research design. That is what it is known as the practice. But when I design a research, I have to become a qualified student. That is the meaning of, that is the meaning. So I become a qualified student. As a researcher, as a researcher means I have to become a qualified student. And then I continue the journey. I constantly check, is my behavior, attitude is changing? Am I able to drop the wrong notions? Thereby, I am moving into the peace and calmness. Or simply listening will not, oh, you have talked such a great subject. No, that is not important. How much you have absorbed, how much you have changed. That is more important. So, and then you present your finding. Where you present your finding? You present your finding to your life, in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social life, in your family. And you are there. So this, from Mangalacharan, this transition to setting the inquiry, structuring the inquiry, is known as Anubandha Chatushtaya in East and West. Anubandha Chatushtaya also means 4 connections. Anu means before. So before I have done the Mangalacharan, before the Mangalacharan, I have understood this is the way I have to inquire. I have to do my self-inquiry. Look at this. Look at the clarity. So how do structure self-inquiry? By 4 connections. These 4 connections, I told you can remember 2S, 2R. 2S means seeker and the subject matter. 2R, realize a result and the relationship. 4 essential requirements, 4 preliminary considerations. You can say in many different ways. Many masters have used different words. It is a concept based on how to do the research on myself. First is the subject matter. What is the subject? Subject matter is the real self. I don't know yet. I have to find out. By understanding. By understanding. Second is what is the purpose? Purpose means the result. 2R. So my intellect keeps this result all the time in my head. Is there a possibility to bring an end to the suffering once and for all? And can I awaken? Awaken means that can I enter into a new state of the consciousness, which I declare that this is me, this is real self. I should experience that, which is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. You see how we structure the inquiry. And then, okay, now I'm ready to go for a research, self-discovery. Oh, are you a qualified student? Qualified seeker? You have to assess your qualification and readiness for the self-inquiry process. Is simply saying that this is not possible. I don't believe it. It will not work. And that is why it is not working. That is why people practices meditation 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of instant meditation. Nothing is happening. They become the same person again. They go back to the same lower nature of their consciousness. And then they claim, oh, they have been practicing meditation for 10 years. You are not doing even a single breath. Single year, single hour, single practice you did not succeed. Because I'm not clear. And the fourth point is the relationship. I have to find what do you mean by relationship? So we have find out the subject matter is the real self. The result is bring an end to the suffering and awakening. And qualified. Am I qualified? So I have to combine. I have to these 3 factors. I have to find out how they are related to each other. That is what happens in the research matter. We have variable and invariable factors in the scientific research. So we have the same. So by relating subject matter is the real self, I'm relating to the result where I did the practice of meditation, but I have an extreme pain in my knee. You are not the knee. I build a relationship. Do I live into that level of awareness? No, you are gone. So qualify yourself. Be capable. See that? Unbiased approach. That is the structuring. We are structuring the inquiry. Subject and qualified student. Relationship between the subject and the qualified student means seeker. Relationship between the result and the qualified student, not a non-qualified student. Non-qualified student will always complain in every meditation. Well, this Saturday session is for the higher level of a seeker. So do you now recall 360-degree understanding, 4 goals in life, 3 goals are outside, striking a harmony, and I struck the harmony outside. Now no one is causing any trouble to me. In the journey of my self-discovery. Otherwise, look at this now, Sam is a big manager, so he's fully busy. He doesn't find the time to practice meditation. Because I have to strike the harmony. So it means I'm not a qualified student. I did not strike the harmony. After that comes the Mangalacharan. Are you getting it? And after the Mangalacharan comes the structuring, the inquiry. And that is what we are doing. subject. What is the subject and the purpose? Subject and the result. SR. 2S2F. So you see the relationship between the subject. My subject is real self. Suddenly you see the beer. Let's have a beer and we will find real self later. So your pleasure seeking mind has already gone outside. I have to become a qualified seeker. Are you getting it? Yes, I have an extreme headache. What should I do? Headache is given by the existence to exhaust all your past impression. Did I say something? Did you get it? You have a headache given by the existence to you to exhaust your past impression. Be ready, even in the moment of the headache. How? Awareness inside, self awareness. Check, contemplate, and reflect. Are you head, then only you have a headache, or head is simply a part of the body. We need that level of extraordinary awareness in order to follow this journey. So, subject and the purpose. This has to be very clear, my friends. And that can only be done by a qualified student. Do you see? Subject and the qualified student. So now real self is this. That is the subject. And who wants to realize it? The seeker. The seeker is a now pure I. It is still the ego. But now it is what is the pure I? It is focused on that self-discovery. We are structuring the inquiry. If you do not structure the inquiry clearly and you study all the great books by the Buddha or by the great masters, nothing is going to happen. People say, I have read this book like a fiction. What is the result? Result, I have to always keep in my head that the result with a seeker. What the seeker is asking for, result, awakening, and bring an end to the suffering. 2S2R. Structuring the inquiry. It will never come if you don't do the Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan will never happen if you have not understand the entire perspective. 360-degree understanding. I told you 360-degree understanding. To give a simple example, matter. After the matter, we find the matter is nothing but the elements or compounds or mixture. That is also at the physical level. What is at the subtler level? It consists of different atoms. Atom consists of molecules. So we went to the molecular level. And from the molecular, that is the way if we say it is a physical level, it is the subtler level, it is the causal level. Okay. I'm not able to digest it. Why? Because you are crazy. You have to clear your mind. After all, the intellect should follow with the clarity, and this is the clarity Master is offering. So when we clearly define the subject matter of my self-inquiry, my mind keeps on focusing on the specific aspect of that inquiry. See that. Everything is happening in the intellect. So then I establish the purpose of my self-inquiry. I assess my readiness. Means I have to become a qualified seeker in the process of self-inquiry. I understand the relationship between the subject matter and the purpose. because this mind is not going to work on any project if you don't show the result to the mind, to your mind. So I have to repeat it again. Mind should be established without doubt that once I find the real self, it will bring an end to the suffering. I have to relate it. If I don't relate it, so people do it, they start doing the meditation on their own from the Google and from other sources, but they have not structured the inquiry. Why? Or just to relax? Then it is better to take pill. Because you have to simply swallow the pill. You need not to do anything. And that is why the meditation is reduced like taking a pill. It does not make you lively. It does not help you to live into that higher awareness. Are you understanding? Self-inquiry. 2S, 2R. But after Mangalacharan. But after 360-degree understanding, and the goal of that 360 understanding that I strike the harmony outside. I am not telling my parents if I'm living in the parents' house, shut up, I'm doing meditation. No. I have to strike a harmony so that my parents ultimately inspire me. Please go and do meditation, even if they are not doing it. From there, Mangalacharana. Whatever the situation, the honey may be of having a different attitude, then what? Or he or she is crazy, then what? I have an intellect. I can strike the harmony. Once you strike the harmony, Mangalacharan, and once you have a Mangalacharan, you have self-inquiry. You structured now. Your mind is very clear. Outer situations has nothing to do with it. Outer situations created by the person, my living condition. It does not make any difference. That Mangalacharan gives you that ability to perceive. And once you have done 2S, 2R, I told you, seeker and the subject, relationship and the result. So if you go a little deeper, our masters explains that sincerity, discipline, determination is required in the life of a seeker. That ensures the proper foundation. We don't have a proper foundation and we say, where is the real self? Subject matter we understand. The way we understand energy is the ultimate of every matter. Every matter can be converted into energy. Energy can further be manifested as a matter. So if I say matter is unmanifest consciousness and consciousness is a manifest matter, I'm saying the same thing. So once we have the Vishya as the real self, because if I don't have any subject matter for my discovery, how can I do the research? I'm not saying you believe it. I say start. Belief pending the inquiry. Result. We keep the result. Is it possible if I live into this state of awareness where the emotional dependence is not there, where the attachment is not there, am I living in peace? Answer is yes. Person is there. I'm not attached. Person is there. I was attached. There was an emotional dependence and there is an emotional freedom. Where? In the field of my awareness. Is it not such a grand research, grand discovery? This is what the masters have been talking about. Think of it 2S, 2R. Honestly evaluate your current level of awareness, where your mind is going, how your mind gathers lot of challenges from the world. You have not struck the harmony outside. There is no 360-degree understanding. Yeah, you have a knee pain, you accept it. But you say, because of the knee pain or a headache, if I don't practice, that does not make any sense. You have a headache, don't you eat food? Don't you go to the restroom? After all, meditation is greater than these two activities. Think. That makes you a seeker, a very strong seeker. That is the meaning of sincerity and the determination. We will continue. From this, we'll continue the so-called practice. So let us start with close your eyes. I will pick up the practice from Ashtavakra Gita again and again. So eyes are closed, and I will repeat to you so that your mind will be able to absorb that essence. Yadi deham prathak kratyah chiti vishramyatisthasi. Chiti vishram. If I separate body from the mind, say so. Yadi deham prathak kritya chiti vishram. The I, and then the mind is allowed to rest within. That makes me peace and happy here and now. If I continue the journey, that results into awakening. How can you separate body from the mind? You will die. So that is why we need a 360-degree understanding. It is to realize that body, I'm separate from the body-mind complex. It should have a cognitive understanding. It should have a cognition in your mind. You cannot separate it physically. Now, if I don't have 360-degree understanding, then okay, you're talking which is totally impractical. No, it is 100% practical. So that's why I said it demands not to be a seeker at the highest order. Then only by understanding we can reach to that state. So just we pay attention to each and every instruction, being comfortable. Comfort is recognized by the body, no. Recognized by the mind, yes. Oh, but that comfort is located in the mind, no. It is the comfort in the body. It is not the comfort of the body. See that. So the knowledge comes here. Knowledge is awareness. So when I wake up, I am aware that the comfort is in the body, not off the body. I start dropping the attachment and identification with the body. Did you understand it? Here and now. How? Which practice? No practice. It's a cognition. Cognitive ability. Okay, I did not understand, and that is why I say look at the neck joint. So you are aware of the neck joint. So if I say you are aware of the root of the neck joint, you see that process. So what happens? Body is just an instrument. So when I say look at the root of the neck joint, your mind changes the direction from outside to inside. One, the moment it changes the direction, it changes the state. You start recognizing the comfort. And then I say, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You might have heard me hundreds, thousands of times. So now you are aware, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation experienced by the mind, comfort experienced by the mind, steadiness experienced by the mind. We continue to inquire. Sensation, yes, in relationship to the body. Mind, through the sense organ, comes in contact with any object, sensation. Sensation means senses. It comes from the sense organ, physical level, matter. Comfort. There is something beyond that senses. It is a perception, it is a cognition. So the steadiness also. You do only at the neck joint and it pervades the entire body, and you see, oh, sensation, comfort, sensation, no doubt at the physical level, but has an element of consciousness, comfort has an element of consciousness, and so the steadiness also, I'm recognizing, I'm cognizing. You see cognition? Cognition of sensation, cognition of comfort, cognition of steadiness. Oh, consciousness is common here. I never thought, never understood in this way. Why? Cognition of a pain, very strong bond between the body and the mind. It doesn't want to leave. First treat my headache and then I will talk about meditation. That is what I say. Emotional dependence or attachment, intellectual paralysis, ignorance. So by regular practice, then we are still have to become a higher level of a seeker. So you see the physical sensation, subtle comfort and steadiness experienced in the mind. Common factor is the consciousness. That cognition naturally makes me aware that body is separate. It's a cognition, not physical separation. Due to the ignorance, I see that it is one. Due to the wisdom and the knowledge, due to the cognition, I see, oh yes, yadi deham prathak Nityah Chiti Vishramya Tishtasi. Chitti, consciousness or the mind, or you can say at present, Chiti, mind, Chiti Vishramya Tishtasi. You have a car parked in your garage. In American context, I'm saying, no, I don't have tea, I don't have the vegetables. Oh, let us go. And for that, the instrument is the car. The mind coins millions of the thoughts because it understands my instrument, my servant body is there to fulfill it. And if the body is separate, I mean to say, body is there means if the body attachment is not there, then the mind says, who will go there? I'm okay. And you don't have a car in the garage. Okay, I will do it later. Let me prepare a list what things I need to buy. What is this? Need versus desire. It is just a cognition. It is an understanding. You are still taking the tea. You are still taking the coffee. You are still eating the same vegetable. But now that sense of identification, attachment is broken. How? By cognition, by understanding. Then what happens? The mind rests within. What happens when the mind rests within? The agitation of the mind has gone. The jumping of the mind has gone. And it reflects peace and happiness here and now. Cognition. We enter into that state through a cognition. Cognition comes by contemplation, reflection on the principles we have been learning. And so there is other side of it, which I normally explain as being carefree. Being comfortable and being carefree. They are the non-practice. If you really understand, means if you really cognize, you need not to do anything. It includes discernment, it includes dispassion, it includes the joy, it includes the peace. Being carefree. Any object in the mind. I'm using interchangeably cognition or recognition or recognize. Any experience, any object, any thought is object to the mind. Just recognize that. Just be aware that. How you are aware of that? Do I need to practice? How you are aware? Well, let me explain you by metaphor. The birds are flying in the sky. Does the sky dissolve when the birds are flying? No, no. It is always there. On the right side of the bird, on the left side, on the up, bottom and the top. No, it is everywhere. Nothing happens to the sky. So any thought, feeling, sensation that you experience are the birds in the presence of that consciousness which is all pervading. Another way to cognize what it means by being carefree. And you live into that state 24/7. Think, imagine, dream what is going to happen. Your mind may be saying how long I have to do. That is also an object. In that sky of consciousness or consciousness of the sky. I'm talking the birds in the sky. Now I have to move my body. No, that is also an object. Before moving it, you have a cognition, your body will not move. And even if it moves, the mind is pure and clear. It still have a cognition, recognition, awareness. Where is the problem? I'll use the same verse in at least 10 different Saturday sessions to help you realize how the knowledge, how the cognition, by understanding the verse, understanding means cognition, knowledge. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. The mind was resting in peace and joy, listening to you, digesting and assimilating.
Beautiful. Yes, the listening and learning gives you that knowledge. It is still prevalent. We have said this 10,000 years ago. You see that listening and learning is still common. That's why we have schools. That's why we have universities. That's why we have colleges. What do we do in there? Teacher, teacher teaches. It means you're listening. We have a brandy here, you know. Everyone listens to the brandy. Okay. No one listens to you. Very good. How are you? Are you, Stephen?
Good, thank you. Very good lesson. A lot to contemplate and reflect on. For myself, coming into today's meditation, you've been talking about this theme of doubting the teachings, and as I spoke in this past Thursday, I had a problem with the breathing, which normally doesn't happen. So after Thursday's meditation, I've done a lot of contemplating and reflecting of what's causing that, and had this realization that there's an increase in the mind chatter that's going on, and then finally realizing that it kind of opened up to going deeper into the self-reflection and what's causing that to enter into my space, because I've been progressing extremely well over the weeks and months, years, and then all of a sudden now what's happening to it, and for whatever reason, and then so I'm going to enjoy going back and listening to today's lesson. I just felt this release taking place. So there's a lot of wisdom inside today's lesson that has had some profound effect on me that I can't articulate right now in words, but I feel it. So thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Stephen. And very important that, we say that you have more chatter in the mind, your breath rate is going to be fast. Your breath rate per minute is going to be too high. When you are relaxed, your breath rate is going to be slow. Now I realize I have a recognition is that with that recognition, with that awareness, I look at my mind and also look at the breath. What is going to happen? I can do breathing even for an hour. There is no objection. It is possible. So that is the relationship between the breathing practice and the mind to purify. Beautifully said. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Yeah, so that was very fascinating. I love the two S's and the two R's, and that for me, I reflected back to, for whatever reason, high school science class where we used to have a template of purpose. I forgot the exact words, but basically, purpose, process, observations, and conclusions.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was the template that we used. And so I kind of took that into the meditation today, and I found myself stripping away the attachment to my mind's thoughts. And I just found this transformation to this, kind of like Stephen at the end, he was saying, sort of this unlimited potential and this release. And it was very, very powerful.
Beautifully said. It's a release. And 2S2R, you can apply this 2S2R in every situation, in your business, in your profession, in your relationship. And it will work. You will enter into that level of cognition and awareness, and it will be a release. Rightly said by both of you. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, it was really good. The meditation was calm and effortless. The mind, as Dennis said, listening and learning, and then questioning, do I understand? And then not assuming I understand, but watching the process in life, in all relations, everywhere.
Yeah.
And then know when if I understand and to what level, and if there's anything that shows that, we still need to do some work here, then that's where we go back and we say, okay, what don't I understand, or where's the gap? So thank you.
Definitely, yes. Because when you remember 2S and 2R and you find, oh, there is some challenges, so let me return, let me see what challenges are there, and we find the challenges are always there in our mind. It is not outside. It is not outside. It is always in my mind. And why it is there? It is because of the ignorance. So I have a cognition, I drop that ignorance, and I live into that awareness. How are you, Brani? Who dares not to listen to you? I'll come to you and make everyone listen to you.
I'm grading papers now. Some of them do not listen. Some of them do, I guess. But I had a realization during my meditation today that I don't have the cognition or the clarity when I'm deep in the attachment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like one of these things with Saturdays that we've come back around to, where that's so obvious, except when you're deep in the attachment, it's not obvious because you're deep in the attachment. You're not having the realization about what's really happening.
Yes.
So,
or you can say easily that you have a false cognition when we are attached, and you have a right cognition when I am detached. So remain detached with those students also. It is their destiny. Why to worry? They are not listening to you. And you openly tell all your students, if you are listening to me, you are not listening to me. Why? You are listening to the knowledge. So don't listen to me, receive the knowledge. So that will. So you have to find different ways. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. The
Thank
practice
you.
was good. Mind is calm. It's like that while dealing my own thoughts and impressions, like to be completely unbiased about them, and like then only I can able to solve that what is happening in my mind.
Yeah.
And before that, to achieve that state, I have to be completely harmonized with my surroundings, as well as I have to be like doing the Mangacharan, so it drops my ego while dealing with my thoughts.
Beautifully
So
said.
that will be true.
Yeah,
To
continue.
make me calm.
Yes.
Then only I can able to handle my thoughts and with completely unbiased and find a solution for it.
Beautifully said. Did you all hear it? You have to listen to this again and again. biased. You see, I gave an example of this birds are flying in the sky. And now, if the sky is attached, I'm the sky, I'm the consciousness. If the sky gets attached to any bird, so what happens? Then it is not aware of its nature. It is aware of the false nature. Are you getting it? I believe so. So that is what the cognition is. Cognition is just an awareness. It is not a practice. It is not, you live into that state of awareness. And then what happens? Attachment is there, ego is there. Detachment is there, ego is there. However, you tarry if you want to say something, speak something. We have Obama, see something, say something here. No, it's not applicable here.
I can only say that I am just listening, and I think I have to listen again.
Yeah. Just listening will do. Just listening will do. Without attachment, unbiased. You'll have a cognition. How are you, Sam?
I'm good as far as the lesson. I appreciate when you come with the simple frameworks like the 2S2R. So that'll be something to use in application. And as far as the lesson, it was very quiet, peaceful, and got a little cold today.
Good. 2S2R founded on Mangalacharan. Setting the context. Setting the context is founded on 360-degree understanding. 360-degree understanding brings what? I hate the color of the wall. No, but it is pure energy inside. Don't hate it. Do you see that? That is 360-degree understanding. Huh? That is what we say that I hate this guy. Before you hate, understand. What do you hate? And instantly that cognition changes the life. So we are building, on Saturday said, and I'm building a very strong foundation. No, you have to build a strong foundation. I'm not building anything. I'm just passing on the knowledge. It is you as a seeker has to do it. And that is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.